Hello beautiful beings and welcome back to my channel Soul Journey. My name is Beck and today we're going to talk about a question I got recently about channeling. Don't mind the mess in the back. I'm still working on the spirit room. I've been working on a lot of things, so don't mind that. Anyway, so recently I was talking to one of my friends who is in the pagan community. She does witchcraft and things of that sort. And she was asking me, what's the point of channeling? Not in like an insulting way, but she was just like, I'm curious about it. Like, why channel? She's like, I always think it's good to do your, be with your own guides, have your own journey. And I 100% agree with her. So what's the point of channeling? She was just curious because she hadn't really ever done it before, and she's not as involved in that because she's more into witchcraft and things like that, whereas, the extraterrestrial community and the starseed community, we kind of are into different things, even though the messages are often very similar. So today I wanted to come on and talk a little bit about it and soul forks to give people kind of an idea who may or may not be aware of why we do channeling. So let's get into it. So for those of you who have followed my channel for a little while, you know that I channel the Feline Council from the constellation Lyra. And I've also channeled the Arcturians, the Blue Avians, the Galactic Council of Light, on and on. If you're interested in those channeling videos, you can actually head over to my playlist. I believe it's just called Channeled Messages, and that is a playlist on my channel. So if you're curious about those, definitely head over and check those out. But I wanted to talk about the idea of channeling and why it's an important step for the evolution of our consciousness. So, as many of you know, currently on the planet, it's not like a normal thing for aliens or extraterrestrials or higher dimensional beings to just rock up and have a conversation with people. I know this happens sometimes with individuals, but it's not like Star Trek, right? We're not all just like rocking up and being like, hey, what's up, guys? Boom, boom, boom. It would freak everyone out. Like, let's be real, our planet is not ready for that to happen quite yet. Because these other races, these higher dimensional beings, they want to assist in our evolution without, pressuring us into it, without freaking us out. They have come up with other ways to bring certain knowledge to the planet that is going to be much more gentle, much more easy to digest right now before our planet is really ready to have like official contact. And that's where channeling and soul forks come in. So first I'll talk about channeling and then a little bit about soul forks. So channeling is a really cool experience. If you want to know really in depth about it, I do have a video called I think it's called My Experience with Channeling, or What is Channeling, or something like that. If you put in soul journey, what is channeling, I'm sure it'll come up. And I talk about my first experience channeling. I actually made the video like a day after I channeled for the first time. But I'd had friends who channeled and things like that. So I knew what I was talking about, like aside from my own experience. So channeling is really cool because as we know, we're all human. And anytime we speak to a guide or spirit comes through, we still experience it through the filter of being a human. And even when someone channels, you have to take it with a grain of salt because it is coming through an individual with a certain language, with a certain perspective, and those messages are still channeled through that consciousness. So the better the channel, the more they actually kind of get out of the way and let the beings talk through them. So the better the person is not aware, the better of a channel they are because they're not getting in the way. Again, if you'd like to learn about channeling, Teal Swan did an amazing video about channeling. So if you type in Teal Swan channeling, it should come up. She talks about that filter aspect. So the idea for, like, the reason for a channel, outside of, just someone's individual communication with their guides, which I feel like everyone should do. Everyone has guides, everyone should be communicating with them. A channel serves a different purpose. A channel is to bring a message through, almost like a translator, for extraterrestrials, different guides, things like that, but it's kind of meant for like a wider audience. Now you can channel whenever you want, and you can channel for one individual, and that's totally fine, but channeling is kind of to bring a message through to the collective. And so channeling is a really cool thing. So instead of like having one person like talk to a guide and then maybe make a video, which again, things can get lost in translation, or just having the message come to the one individual, this is a little different. So basically the person channeling basically steps out of the way so these other beings can have a direct line to a wider audience, instead of having to, rock up on planet Earth and be like, hey, sup guys, what you doing? Here's the things. So it's a much gentler way of bringing a very clear message onto the planet. And so, the more you've done channeling, the more things like that, the more you actually kind of step out of the way and you're kind of just a conduit for the message itself. And so it's really for a broader audience is what I feel channeling is for. Now, a soul fork, which often I feel like soul forks are probably a really good channel because they're very connected to a certain race. Like for me, I am a soul fork from the feline race. And so I channel the feline race most of the time, which makes total sense. So a soul fork is a little different, but is a channel in their own way. And a soul fork is, I don't know why I have a hard time explaining this. It's very simple. So when someone is incarnated, source, they choose to come down from source into a certain dimension to have a certain experience. Just like anyone on Earth, any being, any animal, any extraterrestrial, source, projects down to have an experience of itself through a certain filter. A soul fork is a being that has been incarnated into a higher dimensional being. I'll use myself an example. I am a part of the feline race. I have relatives in the feline council. My aunt, you could say, was actually the goddess Bast. I'm kind of in that group, but not really. It's really hard to explain. And if anyone's interested in me going in depth about my lineage, definitely comment down below. I'm totally down to make a video about it. First, I've made several videos on it, but I've never actually posted them. So if you guys are interested, just comment down below and I'll actually put in the effort. So I came down from source into a feline body, or a lion person. I feline just feels better to me. So then, as a part of my soul journey, I was chosen by my collective to bring information onto planet Earth, again, gently. This is really important. Teal Swan also has this, and I don't remember which group she's from, but she is also a soul fork. So me as a feline, because we're in spirit, it's a kind of a different setup. An extraterrestrial or higher dimensional being can then project a part of themselves, kind of like Source did, to be incarnated into an even lower dimensional being. So they can, whatever is kind of like under their normal dimension. And again, this is very three-dimensional talk for a very multi-dimensional experience, but they project themselves down often into 3D realities, just like Source would with the amnesia and the unawareness of what they are, the collective, and they decide to become, say, like a human being. This serves two purposes. One, it expands their personal soul expansion just as being a human, just like any part of Source would. So, they get to understand being a human, which helps in a way because it helps them be able to interact with other humans and other races. It's a real learning experience for them. And then two, it gives them a chance to bring information to the planet that wouldn't normally be here with just humans. So oftentimes soul forks are teachers. They come here with knowledge that just kind of comes out of nowhere. It's like they almost don't know why they know the information, but they do. And this is similar to a starseed, but kind of different. A starseed is a much more umbrella term of beings that are normally in other star systems and decide to reincarnate here. So they have a lot of information, but aren't necessarily soul forks, which is, I kind of think of as more of an intense version of a starseed, where your higher self is literally still an extraterrestrial. And so you can bring information onto the planet. Now, the awakening for a soul fork can also be very intense. For instance, in my experience, around the age of 20, I started getting visions of literally being incarnated here, and my, the other race that, I am a part of, and they started talking to me. It was really, really intense. And I also have a higher self that I communicate with, and there's a lot there. And so it is similar to a starseed, but it is definitely different. And we're just here to do different things. One isn't better than the other. We're just here to do different things. We have a different experience. So that is my experience with soul forks and channeling. And this is kind of why we are here, is we are here to bring new information on the planet that isn't quite ready for an extraterrestrial to rock up and say hello. Because also, vibrationally, a lot of extraterrestrial races that would be able to be helpful to us aren't a vibrational match to planet Earth right now. And so if they come through in a human body, it really kind of sorts that problem out. So channeling and soul forks are here to bring new information on the planet in a gentle way, in a way that can be much more digested by the human collective right now. If you have any questions, please comment them down below. I'd love to hear your questions. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. And let me know if you have had an experience like this, if you do channel, if you are a starseed, if you are a soul fork, if these things resonate, I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to check out my other social media, the links to those are in the description down below, along with my Etsy shop where I do personal readings for people, so you can go check out my options with that. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Many blessings. Namaste. And don't forget, it is all about the soul journey. Bye.